Hello, welcome to Suspense She Shed Sunday. My name is Holly. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe for more true crime content. I'd love to have you right here in my she shed. I just started like a month ago, and I just want to thank the viewers, the subscribers that have made such sweet comments and encouraged me to just keep going. I appreciate it. And I thank you guys for your love. I see it and I love it. Help a Southern girl out and just hit that subscribe button. I love it so much. All right, here we go, guys. This case is very intriguing because it had so many suspects before it was solved. Or was it solved? Is there more people out there that could have been involved in this murder? A lot of people still think so. After 9 years, a cold case was finally solved through genealogy DNA technology. Once again, it solved many cases. This is the true crime case of Faith Daniel Hedgepeth, a college student who was gruesomely murdered on September 7th, 2012. And now, DNA has finally revealed the name of the person who murdered this beautiful young lady. Let's start the story. Faith was born at the Nash Hospital in Rocky Mount, North Carolina on September 26, 1992 to her happy parents Roland and Connie Hedgepeth. She was said to have a bubbly personality and a beautiful and infectious smile. Look at her. She's just a gorgeous girl. I mean, she's gorgeous. She loved spending time with her family. Her parents did divorce within a year of her birth. And she was raised by her mother, and also her older sister helped raise her too. Connie, her mother, named her second daughter Faith because she believed that was what she needed to raise a fourth child. Amen, sister. I'm with you on that. She already had 2 sons, a daughter, and a husband with a drug problem. So she got her hands full. In high school, Faith was an honor student, a cheerleader. She even was able to earn the prestigious Gate Millennium Scholarship, which I hear is very hard to earn. And that was so she could attend UNC at Chapel Hills, North Carolina. Her father went to the same college, but he had dropped out, so she would have been the first in her family to graduate college. What an honor that would have been. So sad. After undergraduate studies, she was considering further studies to become either a pediatrician or a teacher. She just loved children. She just wanted to pick a career that was geared towards being with children, so hopefully she can make a difference in their lives. She was a member of the Hluwa Saponi Native American tribe and was in a Native American sorority at UNC. Faith was a member of Bethel Baptist Church, and she loved God and she loved her church family very much. First 2 years at UNC went well for her, although she did take the spring of 2012, that semester off. She remained in the Chapel Hills area, however, over the summer, living in an off-campus apartment with her roommate, Karina Rosario, with whom she had been friends with since freshman year. Karina had just broken up with her boyfriend, Eric Tokoy Jones. It was a very violent relationship. He was abusive to her. He hit her. She was often seen with bruises and scratches on her. And it's just a rocky relationship. So they ended up breaking up and he moved out. So when Eric moved out, then Faith moved in with Karina and they became roomies. Eric didn't move very far, however. He just moved to a different building. It was still the same apartment. It's just a different complex of the apartment. And so he didn't live very far away from them. Unfortunately, that was bad because he kept breaking into their apartment and twice kicked down their door. He was just, I don't know, he just had anger issues, I guess. And Faith, I guess, didn't like him very good because he was always doing that stuff to her friend. I can't blame her. And she even drove Karina to court to get a protective order against Eric. So he'd have to stay away from the apartment. That made Eric very mad because he resented Faith's influence over his former girlfriend. He reportedly even threatened Faith during a phone conversation to kill her if he could not get back with Karina. Insane. Needless to say, Eric became one of the main suspects of Faith's death. So the morning before the murder, Karina and Faith went to the Davis Library on the UNC campus because Faith was writing a paper about the history of her tribe. So Faith and Karina came back home around 7:30 p.m. after they left the library and decided to go out and have some fun that night. They want to go dancing and, just kick back and have a good time. After midnight, they headed to a nightclub in Chapel Hills called The Thrill. According to the surveillance footage, they got there about 12:40. Later, it was discovered that Faith had accidentally butt-dialed a friend. I'm sure you guys have had a few butt dials. Friend answers and like, hey, she butt dialed me again. And they listen to your conversation. No, they do. They're all nosy. They're like, what can I hear since she butt dialed? Is she talking about me? Yeah, we all know that you do that. I do it too. It's okay. Butt dial happened and it went to the friend's voicemail. So it got all captured on the voicemail. And later, this was going to come in handy because she was going to end up turning it into the police. Although the call is very hard to understand, it's very hard. Some people have said that the voicemail happened during the actual murder, but the police discount this theory, saying it happened while still at the nightclub. It does sound like it happened at the nightclub because you could hear music and stuff. I kind of agree with the police on this, but a forensic audio expert examined the video and stated that it is Faith calling and screaming for help. He says he hears stuff on it. He said that the female on the tape says, do it, and then a male says, I think she is dying. I'm going to play the tape, and you can decide for yourself. On the tape is actually the words of what the forensic audio expert thought was being said. You can take it for what you want to. I don't hear that on there, but some people say they do. So that's part of the reason why some people think there is other suspects. So, well, just listen to it and see what you think. It's like I said, it's really bad. So there will be some screeching. So, after almost an hour and a half of dancing, Karina was having an upset stomach and wanted to leave. Security cameras at the club showed her and Faith leaving at 2:06 a.m. And it is the last visual recording of her presence anywhere before the killing. So after the girls got back to the apartment, Faith, they were both in bed. I'm assuming Karina was in bed too. I'm not sure. And at 3:40 a.m., Faith sent a text to her ex-boyfriend, Brandon Edwards. And it said, "Hey, B, can you come over here, please? Karina needs you more than you know." Karina had the hots for Faith's ex-boyfriend. And I'm not sure he had the same feelings for Karina. And some people say that Karina was a suspect as well, just because they thought she was jealous. And you'll see some piece of evidence later that talks about jealousy. And they thought that she was jealous of Faith. And also there was a few other things that Karina does that suspect. And so that was the last evidence of activity from her phone. But Brandon sent a return text asking who had sent the previous text. He didn't have any idea, supposedly. You think you'd still have your ex-girlfriend's number. Whatever. Karina's phone records show she is also trying to call Brandon around the same time. He did not answer. And when he did not, she tried to call Jordan, a soccer player she knew. She was wanting Jordan to come pick her up. I don't understand why she wanted to leave in the middle of the night and leave Faith by herself. Not sure. But at 4:25, she did leave the apartment early that morning. She got in with Jordan. What's even weirder is when she left, she knew Faith was asleep, but yet she did not lock the apartment door. First of all, you know your friend's asleep. She's in a vulnerable state. Second, you have an ex-boyfriend who was a stalker that has kicked down your door twice, and you don't lock the apartment. I have to say, I can see why she was kind of suspect, because that is strange. So 10:30 the next morning, Karina decided she wanted to come back home. So she called Faith. Faith did not answer her phone. So then she hitched a ride with another girl, and they came back to the apartments. When they arrived, they entered the apartment about shortly before 11 a.m., and they called for Faith, and there was no response. So they walked into the bedroom. There they found her bloodied body wrapped in a quilt, partially nude. They immediately called 911 and informed the police. And here is that 911 call. And some people even think the 911 call is really strange, that Karina maybe didn't act as upset as she should, but I'm telling you, when you're in a state of shock, because I'm a nurse and I've had shocking events happen to me, you don't always act the way people would think you would react. Everybody acts a little different.
Okay, how old is she?
She's 19.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to touch her, but...
Listen to me. Is she breathing?
I don't know.
You need to check and see. Is she breathing?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay, listen to me.
There's blood everywhere.
There's what?
There's blood everywhere.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Okay, is she on her back or is she laying on her stomach?
She's on her back, but I think she fell off the bed because she's off the bed. There's blood all over the pillows, in the comforter. I just don't know what happened.
Okay. All right, listen to me, all right?
Is someone coming?
Yes, I've got somebody coming. I need for you to help her. I need for you to go up to her. We need to see if she's breathing or not. Okay?
I don't think so.
Okay. Listen to me. Go up. The paramedics are on their way. I want you to stay on the line. I'm going to tell you what to do next, all right? Are you right by her now?
Yes.
Okay. Listen carefully.
Moving.
She's not moving. Okay.
No.
Will you touch her arm? Tell me, how does she feel?
She's not moving.
Okay, ma'am, we need to find out if we can help her or not. You've got to, do as I'm asking so we can help her. All right? Okay. If you can, lay her flat on her back. Remove any pillows.
Lay her flat on her back.
Flat on her back. Remove any pillows.
Okay.
Okay. Kneel next to her. Look in her mouth for food or vomit.
Blood everywhere.
Okay. Kneel next to her and look in her mouth for food or vomit. Tell me something. Listen to me. What is your name?
Karina. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
It's okay, honey. It's okay, honey. Listen to me. Okay. All right. Listen to me. When you touched her, how did she feel? Does she feel warm?
No, she feels cold.
She feels cold? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Don't touch anything else, okay?
When authorities got to the apartment, they encountered a gruesome and disturbing scene. Faith nearly was hanging off the bed. Her whole bottom half was just hanging off the bed. She had no bottoms on, and her shirt was pulled over her face. She had been beaten and had bruises and cuts all over her body. Her head had been bludgeoned so bad that they said that had been the cause of her death. And there was a liquor bottle rolled up in the bed sheets that had blood and tissue fragments all over it. And they said this was the weapon that he used, or they, to mash her skull in. She had blood under her fingernails. Does that mean she was fighting? I would have. Yeah, I'm sure she was. There was blood on the wall and closet door. Blood had pulled under her head as well. There was evidence of sexual assault. And this is the part that talks about jealousy that people wondered about Karina. There was a fast food bag laying on the bed, which someone had wrote on it, and it said, "I am not stupid, B word, jealous." Although the room was splattered with blood, the bag, white bag, was perfectly clean. Nothing on it. The police have suggested it might even been written either away from the crime scene or beforehand. After DNA analysis was done on the DNA found at the crime scene, there was an image drawn up of what the suspect might look like. It's weird how they use the phenotype in a person's DNA, and they can come pretty close to what you might actually look like. They can predict that. I think that is so strange. But they said that the perp was very strongly Native American and European mixed ancestry or Latino. That the suspect would have had a skin tone in the olive range with very few freckles or none at all and black hair. It did not make any predictions as to his height and weight. It was said that on September 10th, Eric, Katrina's ex, had changed his Facebook photo to say, "Forgive me for all my sins, or the ones I'm about to do. Protect me from the girls that don't deserve me and the ones who wish me dead." Weird, I know. For the murder, Eric sent a text to a friend that said, "Forgive me for what I'm about to do." Like, he made himself a suspect. If he wasn't involved, that's just some weird stuff. Why do you say all that? And then Brandon was a suspect as well, face X. But all three of them were ruled out by DNA analysis. They even swabbed like around 750 people. Every one of them was ruled out. They interviewed around 2,000. and Faith's death was still a huge mystery. But Faith's family never gave up on finding the killer. They said they were holding on to faith through God that justice would be served. And you know what? Their prayers were answered. It may have been 9 years, but their prayers were answered because on September 16th, 2021, they found a suspect. This is when police decided to run the DNA against a database of DNA used for genealogy ancestry profiles. They matched it with a relative of the killer. So they pretty much knew who their guy was. They just needed his DNA. And weird circumstance because he was actually arrested not long after that. His name is Miguel Enrique Salguero-Olivares. So Miguel. An officer found Miguel asleep in his vehicle with an open container of alcohol and slurred speech on September 3rd. During that time, they were able to get some DNA, and I believe they probably swabbed that open container because it said he didn't know they got it. DNA that they obtained was sent off and came back as, guess what? A match. They finally found Faith's murderer. Finally. And her mother, you can be still, can't you? And quit all that groaning. Here's Simon. Oh, you're so noisy. You're so noisy. You're so freaking noisy. Now be quiet. Quit all that. So Faith's mother was just overjoyed that they finally found him. Here's her talking about it.
I didn't do anything but cry and thank God and praise God because I put it in His hands and it was His timing. I don't know why it took so long, but I just know that it was him.
Miguel was never a suspect. They didn't know anything about him being anywhere near any of this. So it is said that Miguel might have been at the nightclub that night. Like I said, some investigators thought that more people might have been involved in this crime or at least knew something about it. So, I'll leave that for you to decide on that. Miguel was 28 at the time of his arrest, and he did live in the Chapel Hills area during the time of Faith's murder. And he worked at a pizza place there. Miguel is originally from Guatemala. He only came to the U.S. 2 years before Faith's murder, and he spoke very little English when he came over. Miguel's mother does say her son is innocent, but what mother doesn't say that about their child? Most of them would. She said he's a good person, and he has never known any individual that went to that college or been to that college. But in my book, that just makes him more guilty because if he has never been there or never been around Faith or anything, then why is his DNA and his fingerprints all over that crime scene? Kind of weird, huh? He is now being charged with first-degree murder, and authorities are saying the story will take time to completely unfold. What does that mean? Interesting. Hey, put your thoughts on this case down in the comments. Do you think more people were involved? Do you think they've got everybody? It's a total mystery. I know he was involved because his DNA was there. But why? What, did she know him? It doesn't even say she knew him. What do you guys think? Just leave a comment below. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you'll come back and listen to more true crime stories right here in my she shed with me and Simon. You guys have a blessed week, a blessed day. Please hit that like and subscribe. And maybe I'll spare you the rhymes next time. I didn't give you a very long rhyme today. You shouldn't be complaining like that, okay? You come back and see me, you hear? Bye.